we're moving on to news coming in from Manipur now, where 14 Kukis or hostages have returned home after an agonizing 27-day captivity in Manipur, marking emotional scenes of reunion across the region. Families were seen breaking down in tears as the survivors reached their homes after weeks of uncertainty. Deputy Chief Minister Nemcha Kipgen was present during the return and led the expression of gratitude as the hostages were reunited with their families. Let's go to Nibir first with fresh updates on this. Nibir.
Well, absolutely, this is a very sad incident that we have seen over Manipur in the last 27, 28 days or so, wherein hostages were taken from both the Naga and the Kuki communities. Yesterday, in a show of solidarity, 14 Kuki Zoo hostages have been reunited with their family members. It was a tearful reunion as it marked the end of their captivity, as 14 Kuki Zoo hostages returned home, and they were handed over to the chief of the Tapo Kuki village in Kangpokpi districts. The scenes of their overwhelming emotion unfolded as family members embraced their loved ones for the first time in nearly 4 weeks, and mothers, wives, children and relatives broke down in tears, hugging the released men tightly as months of fear, uncertainty and anguish gave way to relief. Very interesting to see is that the situation of hostages has unfolded in Manipur, with also the Naga groups claiming that 6 Naga hostages are yet to be returned. However, from the Kuki side, 14 have been returned back and they have now met their family members after a long time. Manipur Deputy Chief Minister Nemcha Kipgen has also issued a message of gratitude, thanking the Union Minister as well as other stakeholders who were involved in the safe release of the detainees.
Right, Nibir, thank you very much. Major, of course, good news that the hostages have been returned, but one coming only after a period of 27 days, almost a month. Both chief ministers of Manipur and Nagaland, of course, have welcomed the developments, but can it be assured that such incidents will not happen in the future again till the ethnic tension, are fully worked out? There is a permanent solution in sight.
Right, Kriti, that's a very, very good question. I sincerely hope and pray that such an incident does not happen again. But going by the history and going by the pattern of events, I'm afraid, I don't think, my heart bleeds in seeing this, that this could be the last incident. No, I don't think so. Things like this have been going on in Manipur. There has been ethnic violence, there's an underground problem. There are two kinds of violence. There's underground problem, insurgency, which is almost just curbed and controlled to a large extent by the armed forces, by the Assam Rifles, by the army. There's ethnic violence continuing between Maitis and Kukis, and became Kukis versus the Naga, that is the Tangkuls, who are dominant in Ukrul, Shangshak district, basically, that side, where I've spent a great amount of time in Shangshak, in fact. So I can tell you about, both the tribes are wonderful people, wonderful. They are very large-hearted, and people have misconceptions about them, but my heart pains to see the kind of violence. There have been civilians, babies, who have come to the security forces camp and they have hurled fire there. They've thrown fireballs upon them. The soldiers seemed fearless. They shut them aside. That's a different thing. So this violence has been continuing, has been going on. Now 2 battalions of Cobra battalions of CRPF, they have been pumped into Manipur. I think it's to do with the Armed Forces Special Power Act somewhere. Because the armed forces, the army, the Assam Rifles, they have special privileges and powers. Powers, I would call it rather. In states like Jammu Kashmir or in Manipur, where they can search anyone without any search warrant, enter any house, stop any vehicle, arrest anyone without an arrest warrant, even to the effect of opening fire for that matter. So, of course, there is it's controversial because people are not happy with this kind of power. given to the to the army and the Assam Rifles. So, but then, with responsibility comes authority. With authority comes responsibility. You cannot have the armed forces operating with their hands tied behind the backs. There is certain element, and also I think dialogue is the only way forward.
Okay.
There has to be a peace committee.
Right.
I'm not talking about talks. There has to be a peace committee which is acceptable by the tribals, which is acceptable by the Maites, which is acceptable by the Kukis, by the Tangkuls, which is acceptable. And this peace committee should not have people from local interest. They should be external people. I've offered many times myself on your channel. Mr. RVS Money has offered numerous times on your channel. There are a lot of people who are not from the northeast part of India, but who love northeast part of India passionately. So
Absolutely.
I think this violence, ultimately, until you have a proper negotiation, it will continue, unfortunately, Kirti.
Right. Thanks, Major Shah, for joining us on that. And now, viewers, there's news from Hyderabad.